Here's our friend Roz in New York joining us. Roz, thanks for waiting. You're on the air.
Hey, dude. I have a few thoughts about the Grammys. I know no one wants to hear it, but I did want to ask, did you suggest before that people who are going to go see Ozzy are actually going to go see Oasis? That's a joke, right?
No, I mean, I think Oasis crosses over enough to all kinds of rock fans that they would. I think it'd be too tough to get a ticket, but I think there's a percentage of people that are, I know a ton of people into heavy rock that love Oasis. So, yeah, I would think that's possible.
Awful. I don't get it. Anyway.
Roz, they're selling out multiple nights in stadiums all over the world. Somebody gets it. You might not, but somebody gets it.
Oh, man. Somebody's drunk. I don't know. But I just want to say there's a few things about the Grammys that I don't think anyone realizes, and I kind of mentioned this to some people, and I've been following them for years, even if the show I know is going to suck. I still watch it. I've had, ever since I was little, I've been watching it. Apparently 51, to be eligible for its category, the album, whatever album you make, to be eligible for that category, let's say rock, the album has to have at least 51%, sound 51% of its category. So that's why all these clowns are getting nominated for what you may not think is rock, because they're sort of now following the rules, and they never did that before, which is really strange.
What are you saying? You're saying that if it's a country record, to be nominated in the country category, that the material on it has to be 51% country?
Yeah, that's the absolute rule. That's the actual rule in the Grammy things. And years ago, they never followed that rule properly. So, and that's why. And also, whoever was voting in their certain respective categories could pick and had also an extra vote in which they could pick any category they wanted, regardless of their own category, to vote in if they wanted to, if they so chose to. And now I believe they changed that rule, but the 51% still applies, which is insane. And they're still not following the rule correctly. So that's
look, let's not forget that there was a big shakeup at the Grammys not too long ago.
Exactly.
Corruption allegations, people, bias, all this stuff. Yep. So, yeah, their hands are not clean. I mean, they were nabbed on a lot of stuff. I also heard, Roz, somebody emailed me the other day. They were saying that the Stones and the Beatles records actually were 03 releases, not 04. But I think the way they do their clock, it actually goes back a little further. I guess they weren't eligible at the time, but they are now. I don't know.
That's another prophetic rule. The rule for eligibility is from September to the next year, September, instead of November when the good records come out slightly. It's like the Oscars, which is really bad. Everything eligible in December can be nominated for an Oscar. That's worse. That's a worse rule. But
well, I'm assuming they have to do that though, because they have to figure out like what the voting period and the nominating period is. They have to kind of close it off at one point. Roz, I got to run. Thank you for the call. I appreciate your points. Just going to try to get as many people in as I can here with our last half hour or so. 844-686-5863. Yeah, I mean, when you get inside of this thing, you realize what a mess it is. Here is Derrick in New Mexico joining us. Hi, Derrick.
Hello, Eddie, Sebastian, Carrot Top, and Richard Christie. Hey, that was a great point on your for that. Thinking about the Rolling Stones and Beatles things you just said about that. Yeah, that actually blew my mind too when you said that. I was like, holy shit! Some of the biggest, or the biggest rock acts, or music wise, and yeah.
They did that though. The Grammys, because they won't televise the rock category, but then of course the nominees, oh wow, a Beatles song and a Stones album are eligible. Well, every single person is going to check that box even if they didn't listen to the records, but because of their blanket rule of not televising, they lost out on those opportunities. So it's all you need to know about how disgraceful they are when it comes to rock music, that their own belittling and marginalization of the genre of rock cost them potentially seeing McCartney, Jagger, Richards, Ron Wood, whatever, on stage at their event accepting an award. So what were they expecting? Were they expecting these people, these icons, to go and show up at the pre-ceremony and sit in some theater somewhere and walk up on the YouTube feed and say, it's sickening, but that's what they get. Good for them. You want to treat rock as an afterthought? Well, okay, you gave Grammys to icons of icons. Guess what? You robbed yourself of the opportunity for people to see them. Good. Good on
Yeah,
good.
no, yeah, exactly.
It makes me so crazy. Anyway, what were you going to say, Derrick?
Yeah, I got a brush with greatness, but first off, what about our good buddy Brad Gillis going in there and doing a couple of songs? You know what I mean? Since he was there right after Randy had passed away, and you know, and this concert looks cool on paper and everything in my eyes. You know, I saw both farewell tours, you know, the Black Sabbath one and Ozzy one, and they were great. You know what I mean? So that's and you know, in my opinion, the last time that I actually remember Ozzy doing back-to-back things was on the '97 Ozfest. If anybody remembers that, I was there in Phoenix, and that was the first time that Black Sabbath had got back together. But it was without Bill Ward. It was with Mike Borden from Faith No More, and I remember Ozzy went on first, and he did all Ozzy songs, and then they left, and then they came back, and it was just all, and they all did Black Sabbath right after, you know. So that's one of the, you know, in my opinion, that was, you know, the greatest Ozfest, you know, settings like that. So, and that's whenever my brush with greatness comes in, is that I met three quarters of Black Sabbath, you know, that day, that morning. Me and my friends, we took pictures with Geezer when he got off the bus, and then that evening I took a picture with Tony Iommi, and at the time he was going out with that woman from Drain STH. I'm not sure if he's still married to her now or whatever, but yeah, so I have a cool picture with her, or you know, with both of them. And then the Ozzy one was whenever on the No More Tears tour in 1992, when he did his No More Tours, his first farewell thing. You know, we got in line or whatever. It was actually very cool because whenever we were in line to meet him, you know, the production people were going, you know, through the line. You know, there's probably about 40 of us right there, and they were giving everybody CDs, and it was called the No More Tears demo sessions. And, you know, they said, yeah, you know, when you get up there, you know, tell Ozzy your name, and, you know, he's going to sign it to you, and then you guys are going to take a picture, you know, I mean, from a Polaroid. So, yeah, so I have those, you know, that I still have that CD to this day, you know, that he signed to me. And I actually had him sign another, like a magazine clip too, just real quick. And, you know, he was very cool. They didn't really, you know, they didn't brush us off or tell, you know, get out of the way or whatever. They, you know, you had your moment with him. So I'll always treasure those, and I'll probably post those pics on the Trunk Nation page. So if you want to check them out, you know, if you're scrolling sometime there, Eddie. And thanks for all you do, man. And thanks for my call.
All right, Derrick. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, Derrick. Thanks to the fans of Trunk Nation there on that Facebook group. Appreciate it. Well, he said Brad Gillis. And look, Brad actually is on a recorded record. He's on Speak of the Devil, of course. So certainly deserving. But here's the deal. You can't have everybody at this thing, right? I mean, even though they have a ton of people at it, you can't have everybody because you're not going to get a 2-hour concert out of Ozzy. So if this was going to be a proper Ozzy tribute, and Ozzy was capable of doing an 1.5 hour set, then yeah, you could make the case that bring back everybody. But they're hoping to get 5 songs out of him. You hope to, maybe you get 1 from Jake. And then I would expect Zach to play pretty much the rest of the set. And then you hope he gets recovered enough that he could do, to do 5 with Sabbath. Look, if he's sitting and they're running a track, all he's got to do is sit there for 10 songs. Let's be honest. You hope it's not that, but if it is that, I mean, anyone could do that because it's not real. And we've seen that. You know, when he did that thing with that football game or whatever, he clearly was not singing, and he was propped up on that post. But here's the thing that I don't understand. Because again, I go back to the last time we saw Ozzy, which was very recently for his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. And he did not sing at that. Canned or otherwise, he did not perform in any way. And that's at 5-10 minutes they needed. Whether it's canned or not canned, why wasn't that, you got that, but you couldn't get that at what is a really important night for him as well. But somehow we're going to get 5 songs, 2 sets with 2 different bands each. I don't know. So I'm saying this has so many levels to it.